Welcome to the Author Spotlight Show. Today we shine a spotlight on a remarkable woman whose story and insights fill the pages of her #1 best-selling book, Voices of the 21st Century: Wise Women Bringing Light to the World. The cover of this book features the lotus flower, representing the light and transformation that this flower brings. The lotus flower blooms in darkness, a testament to its resilience and growth. Hi, my name is Gail Watson, founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association, and today I have the proud and privilege of introducing to you an extraordinary woman, a visionary whose words not only leap off the page, but also dive deep into the heart of empowerment, resilience, and hope. Her journey is a testament to the strength found in vulnerability, the power of overcoming, and the beauty of rising anew, much like the lotus itself. So join us as we explore her unique contributions to the world, uncovering the wisdom she shares and the light she brings into our lives. So welcome to the show, international best-selling author Kashaun Parker.
Thank you so much for that warm and beautiful welcome, Gail. It is a pleasure to be on today.
Well, thank you. Warm and beautiful is how I feel about you. So it's all fitting. So, Kashaun, as I was reading your story, I was taken back in time. You talk about a breakup and, it brings us sadness. But I mean, what I really appreciated was that you really, lit up in terms of how that sadness can show up in our day to day. And I know it was the words of one teacher that was saying, I know you're hurting, but you just can't quit. So let's dive deep into your story and let's talk about what inspired you to share your story.
Sure. Oh gosh. So I think just like many of us, when we decide to share our stories in particular, it invites us to open up our worlds to other people. And when I thought about the messaging around this book, I said, well, what is the one message that really resonates? And my mind just started to wander and think, and then I just remembered the foundational wisdom and truth that came out of that moment that I shared. And it's like I would be remiss not to take this time and just really share about what inspires me, what motivates me, what keeps me going strong, even in my darkest of times. I am a woman of faith, and I just believe that, faith is accompanied by a lot of all these things that we use that come together to manifest the miracle, right? It just does not happen in isolation. And so when I thought about where I was when I first got the message, I was like, well, it makes sense. Let's talk about it. Let's really share what that means, and maybe, just maybe, it might help someone else. I was relatively young when the message came to me, so but it stuck with me, and I think that was the power of it. At the time, I think I was, geez, like senior in high school. What are you, 17, 18? But here I am many years later, and the foundation of it still rings true today. We get to play a part in all that we do. We don't get to sit around and just be passive. It doesn't work that way. And so it's a message that I thought was worth sharing, and I'm just happy that I've had the opportunity to do so.
I love that. And it is those micro moments when you think that teacher could see probably the the sadness in your eyes or how you were acting in the school and just kind of made you go, I know you're hurting, but you just can't quit. So as you envision someone reading your story, what is it that you want them to take away from it?
I think the the main message is just to understand that things happen to everybody. And it's not necessarily what happens to you that define the trajectory and what outcomes you have. It's just how you choose to respond to it. At the moment of writing the story or sharing the story, I am, I mean, really just in bliss, right? I'm talking about there are amazing things happening in high school. And this teacher, he had been watching me, I think, long before I even realized that he was paying attention, right? And he's just like, snap out of it. If it's this that's going to derail you, boy, you've got a long way to go. And it was just that reminder that, things are going to come up, and they sure have. If you follow me and you learn about my story, like, this was just the beginning. But I'm so happy for that foundational message. I'm so happy for that teaching, because I think it set the framework for how I myself showed up time and time again. So as I'm encouraging others, it really comes from a heartfelt place of saying, yes, I know it knocked you off your feet, but can you get up? Can you do one more thing? How can you help yourself? And it's okay to believe. I'm a woman of faith. I know it, but you got to help yourself in order to activate all the beautiful things that come about as a result of the things we go through.
Love that. So, and to quote you, I have a role to play in my destiny. So let's talk about your destiny. You talked about that was just the beginning, what happened there in high school. Um, so let's talk about how your story, how it shows up in your life today. What are you doing? We'd love to know.
Yeah. So, gosh, you know, if you had asked me in high school, well, Kashaun, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? I would have thrown something so lofty out there, um, just because, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And what I have learned on this journey is just that as you show up for life, life also shows up for you. And it this lesson in the Voices installment is just a true testament that things are going to happen. It is not what happens to you that defines you. It is always about how you respond. And that really has been my moniker. Coming in now, to the second Voices installment. My first one, I talked about just the journey, right, of how I'm a widowed single mom raising children and trying to start a business. To someone that might sound absolutely insane, but that's my journey. That's the one that I said yes to. And I think that it gave me permission to not get lost in the overwhelming sense of things that were coming up in my story, but for me to say, well, I'm picking up my pen now. What do I want to write? What do I want to do with it? And what is unfolding here is just my yes to the invitation of what I want to do with my part of the story.
Love that. And how are you, because you work with clients,
Hmm.
can we talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I it's multifaceted. I do two-prong approach. On some of my clients, I work with them just on life principles, right? How to show up better for life. As you begin to develop yourself, then you show up better for those that are around you. So I coach on that. I coach on just emotional intelligence and awareness, and then how to navigate through challenges. But then from a career standpoint, I also coach on that. What does it take to be an effective leader? What does it take for you to really, just step into the realm of your best self, whatever that looks like, and how you're going to serve? What does it take for you to do that? And that I've made a career out of it. Along with being an author, along with being a speaker, I mean, just all the things. I really did not give myself any out here. I'm like, if I think I want to do it, I'm gonna do it, and we'll see what happens.
I love your attitude, and I love that you uh, bring it to the stage and share with audiences, because you're definitely a messenger for people. And right now, I'm thinking for others who are going, I got to get to know this woman because she is a woman you need to know. Just saying. Where can we get a copy of your book, Kashaun?
So the best way right now is to DM me. You can send me a message on either Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm active on both of those platforms. And then eventually it'll go up on my website where you can order a copy directly, an autographed copy.
Autographed. All right.
Yes.
And maybe a bundle with some of your other books as well. That would be fantastic. As you were speaking, Kashaun, I don't know if you know or not, but I mean, Voices of the 21st Century was inspired by a school project, a teacher. And when we think about the roles that teachers play in our lives, I mean, while they're here to teach us how to read, write, and arithmetic, their words matter. And I love that you really shone a light to that, because each one of us, when we interact with other people, our words matter. Sometimes that little push, right? So if you're listening right now and you're thinking about the perfect teacher gift for your classroom, please get a copy of this book. Highlight that line where the teacher literally changes Kashaun's life forever. It's an impactful moment. Not to mention the great story in there, how, and how our actions manifest miracles. Also, really great. Kashaun, I love you. I love the energy you bring, the positiveness. You are just go. Nothing stops you. You take things that maybe not are the greatest of times, but you really bring light to them. So thank you for really opening up and sharing that personal part to you in this book.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. And just before we go, conclude, perhaps there's some final words of wisdom you'd like to leave us with?
I think the final words of wisdom will I'll take it from my chapter in the book. And it really is about your actions are really what it takes to manifest your miracles in your world. No one can write your story better than you can. So pick up the pen and start writing.
All right. That's what we're going to do then. Pick up your story matters.
It does.
It does. Thanks, Kashaun. Always love chatting with you. Your smile's so welcoming. And to our listeners right now, please connect with Kashaun. Get a copy of her book. Pick up several copies. Hand them out. Let people know that they have a role to play in their destiny too. Support them. Encourage them. So until then, I'd like to thank you again, Kashaun, for joining us. And I would like to thank our listeners today for joining us. And we want to wish you together, we will wish you, wherever you are in this world, we want to wish you a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Gail.